adventure, sports, outdoors. With host Harry Canterbury.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah.
Hi, Harry Canterbury with another edition of Adventure Sports Outdoors. We're at a special place in Pekin, Illinois, and we're going to talk about what they do for the little animals that we love so much. They give them an opportunity and a second chance at life, and they work very hard to make sure that these dogs and cats get into the right hands of the right people. And I'm very impressed with their facility, and I have Holly Crotty here. I pronounced that correctly, didn't I?
Correctly.
I did.
Yes.
Okay, I was having a little
Absolutely.
problem with But anyway, we're at a very neat place at Taps in Pekin, Illinois. We're going to talk to her and other folks here at this facility about what they do to help out these lovable little creatures. Literally, this show is going to the dogs. So stay tuned today for a great show.
Adventure Sports Outdoors is brought to you in part by Corsaw Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield. Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. Eastport Marina, one of the only marinas in its class between Chicago and St. Louis, on Mariners Way in East Peoria. Goodwill of Central Illinois, free employment and veteran and youth services made possible because you donate. Lori Feld of Allstate Insurance, conveniently located in Peoria, East Peoria, and Springfield. And by Statewide Fingerprinting, specializing in concealed carry and FOID cards, 400 North 8th Street in Pekin. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.
I'm here with Holly Crotty at Tazewell County Animal Protection Place, but you call it TAPS. What's that stand for?
Tazewell Animal Protective Society, and we've been around since 1958 here serving animals in central Illinois.
And something unique about this particular place is that you try to save every animal you can. It's what they call a no-kill facility.
Correct.
So you get dogs from all over the country. Where do you get your dogs from?
We get dogs from local animal controls, and then we transport dogs in as well. We have a rescue partner in Texas that brings dogs up once a month. We get them from Missouri and Arkansas and Kentucky. All of those communities have pretty high volumes that show up in their animal controls, and without rescue partners throughout the Midwest, many of those facilities would have higher euthanasia rates.
If someone is interested in adopting a dog, what are the procedures? What do you go through?
The first step is that we ask for a no commitment application. And right now, due to COVID, we are closed to the general public, so we're accepting applications online. Once we receive the application, it usually takes 3 or 4 days to get it processed and to schedule an appointment to come in to meet an animal. And we do require that everyone in the family come in to meet. And if you're taking a dog home and you already have an existing dog in the family, we do request that you bring that dog in to do a dog
To see if they're
intro.
going to acclimate and get used to it and so on and so forth.
Yes.
I see over here in the corner you have two rooms, and you call them dog acquaintance room number 2 and number 1.
Correct.
So people can go inside there and play with the dog and spend time with it to see if that's really the dog they want to get, right?
Yes, and we're also very fortunate that we're on 18 acres of property, and we have trails and fenced-in dog park area so that potential adopters can also go outside and interact with the dogs.
Well, that's nice that you have that. A lot of people like to walk a dog.
Sure.
Especially where I live, it seems like it's the dog path of the city. You know, people every morning, as early as 6 o'clock, people are taking their little dogs and their big dogs, and they walk and walk and walk. And it's not only good for the dog, but it's very good for the people that own the dog.
Yes.
And we're going to see a dog, Richley. And can you bring Richley over? And let's show Richley. Come here, baby. Oh, you're so precious. You're so pretty. Yeah, come here. And Richley's been here how long now?
She's been here, I believe, about 6 weeks. She is
Baby.
been overlooked, and I'm not sure why, because she has a wonderful personality.
Oh, she's
although
wonderful.
she does need training, so
Yeah.
any family
She was sitting for me earlier. Come here, Richie.
any
Sit.
family that would
Sit.
commit
Yeah, she
to
likes to lay down.
adopting her would have to be committed to her ongoing socialization and manners and obedience,
Yeah, but
and
that's...
and provide appropriate chew toys, as you can see.
Oh, sure. She is real sweet. We were playing with her earlier, and she's really a doll. It looks to me like she had a litter of pups.
Yes, the litter of pups were pre-taps,
Uh-huh.
and then she ended up at a
Look at this.
high volume, low resource animal control facility.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, somebody should be loving on you right now at their house. Yes, they should. But she seems just really...
And she looks like,
really
from her
precious.
coloring,
Yeah. Come here.
it's always a visual guess
Yeah.
of what these dogs are. I
She-
would guess based on her coloring, she has a little pointer in her.
Yeah, German short hair. I had one, and our little Bo used to look real similar to that.
Hello, Richley.
And but
Hello, pretty girl.
But a dog like this, active dog, young dog, it needs to be in a family where it can run around and be in a nice fenced backyard where it won't take off.
Sure.
But Richley would make a wonderful pet for somebody. So don't forget, we got Richley down here. And Richley, you need to get a new house. Yeah, we got to get you a new house. That's what we do. The deal with this pandemic has been crazy. But there's been a lot of changes. And tell us about those changes with this pandemic, how it's affected the adoptions.
Well, we at TAPS and at shelters across the country have received record number applications. In one weekend, we received 152 applications.
Oh my goodness.
And that's unfortunately at a time when our volunteers are self-quarantining, so we are on a staff shortage, but applications increasing.
Right.
So we have tried to get those processed as quickly as we can and get animals into homes, but people felt like this was a good time to adopt given that they were homebound, had more time to commit to training. And then in some instances, people were homebound and felt lonely and wanted a companion. I took in a 14-year-old dog earlier this year. Well, Taps took it in, and she had lived in her home her whole life. Her owner had to go to an assisted living facility, and she was not doing well at the shelter. So I took her to my house to foster, but it was difficult because she didn't like other dogs, so I had to keep her segregated.
I
had to keep her segregated from my dog family. And someone on Facebook said they knew of an elderly gentleman that was looking for a settled dog for companionship since he was homebound and quarantined, and I took him to her house and they met, and that was in March, and he just came in and officially adopted her last week.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure you've got a lot of great, stories about people that these dogs, and I have to reinforce this because I so firmly believe in it. Life is incomplete without a dog or a cat. There's cat lovers and there's dog lovers, and you know that. But life is so incomplete. When you get a dog, they give you unconditional love. They're there when you need them, in the good and the bad. And they don't care, that whatever incidents or issues that happened in your life, they are always there for you, no matter what.
Sure.
And they're kind of a diversion, especially with your wife. You can always pretend you're talking to the dog. And I have what they call, the hearing thing?
Selective hearing?
Yeah, I've got that really bad. So I only listen to what I want to hear, and I can pick it out. But there's so many things about having a dog. I mean, it's unbelievable. And for you folks that have never had one, it would be a learning curve, of course, but something I think would be very extremely rewarding, satisfying, and make you feel really good.
I think the other benefit that we have seen to COVID, and I think it probably would have happened either way, but two of our extremely long-term dogs both found homes.
Oh, that's so nice.
Red was here for over 2 years, and Daphne was here for over a year.
My goodness. You are dedicated to what you believe. I mean, you try to do everything humanly possible to find and match up these little animals with a nice home.
Sure,
You
we
really do.
And we want to make sure it's a good fit, not just a
Day
fit.
fit, right. You want to make sure everything is working as well, and you probably got a very high success rate.
Yeah, especially with our long-term animals, because they become like our own.
Right.
Every animal here feels like our own animal.
I think that you're also very fortunate to have people that are concerned and care as much as they do to donate as much as they do.
We are very fortunate as a no-kill shelter. We don't have any regular source of funding. Our adoption fees make up approximately 20% of our budget, and the remaining 80% has to be made up through community support. And so it truly is a community effort to keep the shelter up and running. And we were, in the past few years, we've helped about 2,000 animals a year, and we could not do that without the generosity of our supporters.
Of the community. Yeah, that's true. If somebody would like to help or donate, small or large, doesn't matter, how do they do that?
They can either send a check here to the facility at 100 Taps Lane in Pekin, or they can go online at tapshelter.org, and there is a donate now.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a look at a bunch of dogs. Saw a cute dog, an English bulldog, and his name is?
Stallone.
Stallone.
And an interesting thing about Stallone is we had been asked to help him several weeks ago from a rescue partner, and I agreed to take him in. And then he got adopted from that sending rescue.
Yeah.
And one of their volunteers found him on Craigslist being given away for free. So they were able to get him back and transfer him here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's heartworm positive, so he'll have to go through heartworm treatment. So he'll be with us for approximately 6 to 8 weeks.
Right. And we're going to show Stallone. And I know why you call him Stallone. He's a muscle guy.
He is.
Yeah.
He is adorable, and he's a total wiggle butt.
Yeah. Well, let's take a walk through the facility, and let's take a look at some of the things you have and the other things that you do. And we just not only have dogs, but we got some kitties too.
We have lots of kitties, and it's the height of kitten season.
Oh, yeah.
So here in this room, we have dog acquaintance rooms. And then this room itself is also a meeting room where we do dog introductions. And when you first come into the shelter, you enter our lobby where our front desk staff and volunteers do adoptions and greet the customers. So that's sort of the adoption hub. And our building kind of goes in a full circle. And on the left, we have our open cat rooms. We have 4 open cat rooms where the cats roam. Some of the cats are in kennels when they first come in to get acclimated to the room, and as you'll see, the rest of the cats are roaming free.
Oh, that's great.
And we try to make it as home-like as possible with cat trees and windows and scratching
right, almost
pads.
like Back to the Wild.
Yes. So they can stay active and entertained, and we have quite a few volunteers that come in and interact with them throughout the day.
That's great. And I was going to ask you about volunteers. If somebody would like to come down and they love animals, they got some spare time, they just call you and contact you. And
Amy Glover is our volunteer coordinator, so they can call here at the shelter at 309-353-8277. And we ask that all volunteers go through a volunteer orientation, and then we have a variety of ways they can get involved.
All right. Holly, thank you very much. And like I said, folks, this is a wonderful facility here in Pekin, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week. In 2017, switchblade knives became legal. You must have an Illinois Firearms ID card, and you must be 21 years of age to possess one. Here's some examples of switchblade knives. These are economy models here. This is a side folder, another one, and we have an out the front. These sell for in the $30 to $60 range. A little winter camouflage here. And some of the high-end switchblades are Benchmades. Here's a side folder, and most of the side folders will have a safety. Flip the safety off and you're ready to go, and it's pretty heavy spring tension. They make an out the front, and most of them have a pocket clip, and that's an example of out the front. And then we have a selection of Cobra Tech knives. These are pretty good quality knives and at a reasonable price. They're in the $100 range for the most part. And again, it's out the front. If you're in law enforcement, they have a glass breaker on the back end of them. They come with a nice hard case and many different colors and blade styles. So if your hands are full and you need to operate a knife with one hand, a switchblade is a good way to go. I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week.
I'm here with Ava Cam, and she does some volunteer work for TAPS and also for the organization in Peoria, which is called
PAWS.
PAWS. What's PAWS? Peoria Animal Welfare?
Welfare
Yeah.
Shelter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she donates, she's a professional photographer, does marvelous work, and she helps get these animals, dogs and cats, adopted. She's been doing it for a number of years, and you primarily work in Peoria at PAWS, but
Right.
you come down here every couple months and
Yeah.
do and it's remarkable. This facility is extremely well funded in a lot of ways. The community really has come together to help TAPS.
Oh yes, yes,
You know.
yes.
Tell us how long you've been doing that, and why do you do dogs? Well,
Sure.
I know why, but tell them why.
Yeah, sure. So I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and I have my degree in zoology. Actually, I have my master's in zoology, and I was having trouble figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with animals, but eventually I kind of landed on that I wanted to do photography.
Well, it's fun. I mean, I
love it.
Yeah, when I was a kid at high school, we had photography class, and you get in the dark room, and you roll it in there in the dark, and you get it in, and you stick it in, and put the lid on, and pour the chemicals in. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun. And
Yeah.
But all we did was black and white. I guess color come along a little later for people like us in high school. But it's a fun hobby too, isn't it?
Oh yes, and you're always learning something new, whether it's with the camera or in Photoshop. There's always something new to learn.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
digitally today, of course, you've got a lot of tools that you can't even imagine that you didn't have just a few years ago. But 30, 40, and for me, almost 50 years ago when I was in high school, it was like the Stone Age.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they had the enlarger, and you had to put the paper in, and you had to turn on the red light, and then you'd shoot for so many seconds and run a test strip to see how it is,
Yeah.
And I learned all that, f-stops and, the cameras and everything, and it's all different. I mean, it's point and shoot, and the cameras are so smart, they do everything, don't they?
Well, I shoot in manual, so I have to adjust those things like f-stop and shutter speed, and so that is not, it's different from using like an iPhone when you just can snap it and take an automatic picture.
Yeah.
This you have to actually
Do
adjust.
a little bit of work.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then in post, when you're working with Photoshop, you can do all kinds of amazing things.
Yeah, you can bring lights up, lights down, you
Yep.
can change colors, you can do and put
Yeah.
all this. I have a friend of mine, Scott Sternberg, professional photographer. His paintings, they look like paintings. He makes a picture look like a painting.
Yeah.
It's so cool, it really
That is
is.
cool.
But what you do for these organizations, if everybody pitches in a little bit, we can all help a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you and I are both dog lovers, and I know many people, if not all you folks out there watching right now, have a big heart for animals. And that's why we're here today doing this show, is to try to help these folks, bring awareness that there's little creatures down here that would love you and make your life a real great world.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
right.
the photography helps a lot, because a lot of times if just the people that work at the shelter snap a quick picture, it doesn't really capture the
Right.
dog's personality
Right.
quite as well. So that's why I volunteer taking pictures to help them get adopted faster,
Yeah.
get a really good shot.
Well,
can
thank
see.
you very much. And if somebody would like to get hold of you, here's a website, and we'll put it right underneath the scroll here.
Okay.
And what is that
Okay,
website?
my business is called Dog Anthology, so my website is doganthology.com, and then you can also follow me on Facebook too. It's just Dog Anthology, and I'll post a lot of the shelter dogs there to
Yeah.
help them get adopted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and it's really great what you do.
Thank you.
It really is.
Thanks.
Now we're going to see some of your work.
Yeah.
Hi, Harry Canterbury with another edition of Adventure Sports Outdoors. I got my little baby Nellie. She's all excited. We think there's some rabbits over there. But we're at the pet party on Grandview Drive on this beautiful spring day. And this is put on by Heights Life, a magazine out of Peoria Heights. And it's just really neat to have all these lovely creatures here. We're dog lovers from way back. And Nellie, there's no rabbits in there. Come here. Nellie, come here. She's got a nose on her like you can't believe. But we're going to put that to duck hunting this, she's strong.
Hi, I'm Cheryl here on beautiful Grandview Drive here this spring. We're having a wonderful time out here. We're having a pet party for the neighborhood, and we're enjoying a good time with local businesses and getting to know our neighbors and just enjoying the day with dog treats and some sunshine.
Hi, I'm Sam Hutchison. We're up here at the dog party with the Heights Life, and I'm the creator and owner of Bears Bites. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little show of them. So Bears Bites is a single ingredient, all natural dog treats. They only have one ingredient. All of our ingredients are locally sourced. All the meats are hormone-free, steroid-free. All of our fruits and veggies are organic, and dogs love them.
Here we are this morning on Grandview Drive, and we brought our pups down here as a get-together. And this is Beamer, who's about 12 and a half or 13 years old. He was, we adopted him from Peoria shelter.
I'm Karen Bishop, and this is Charlie. She's 10 years old. She's a collie.
Yeah, she looks good for 10. Mercy looks really good. And what do we have over here?
I'm Andy Bishop, and this is my dog Newt. He's a year and a half, a collie, kind of shy.
Yeah. And what do we have here?
Hi, this is Scout. He's a Westie, and I'm Becky Bird from Peoria Heights.
And what do we have here, and what's this dog's name?
This dog is Riley. He's a rescue. He's 8 years old, and he's a Bichon Terrier mix.
Oh, well, he's a beautiful dog, and he looks like you've made a really nice home for him.
Yes, he is the best. He's very, very good.
And what do we have here?
Hi, I'm Tiffany Voorhees, and we have two dachshunds. Finnegan is a long hair that we just adopted about 2 months ago during quarantine.
Why would anybody give up such a beautiful little dog?
I don't know. They said that they were worried about his temperament with kids, but we think he's been great with kids. So.
Oh, he's doing fine. And who's this other little guy?
This is Dusty. She's a gray dapple, about 8 years old. And she just loves smelling all the treats here.
You can't blame her. Well, anyway, you got some beautiful dogs.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Fuller, live in Peoria Heights for 40 plus years, and this is Belle. We got her in February.
And it's a baby, right?
Yeah, she's 5.5 months, and she's a Newfoundland.
So she's 5.5 months. This dog is going to get big, right?
It's got potential.
Got potential.
Yes, and they're wonderful with kids. And
any reason why you guys picked that breed over all the others?
we had one before, and she was amazing, and this one's a work in progress.
And what do we have here?
I'm Megan Shane with Sunhowler Pets, and we have Biscuit here. She is a service dog. Back here we have Princess. She is 16 and a half. And this is Roxy. She's about 15.
And that is a Greyhound rescue dog.
Yes.
And how do they, I hear a lot of times they're not, haven't acclimated into, the social thing when they come off a track, but that's not the case. After a little while, they just become like every other dog. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's real settled in at this point. I've had her for several years, and then my friend had her before that. So she's been in the home for, a good long while. And
well, I tell you what, I don't know what you're feeding that dog, but for 16 and a half years old, for a dog that size, is pretty darn good. Hey, thanks a lot for showing your pups.
No problem.
Anyway, what kind of dog is that?
So this is Rosie. Rosie is a Bernedoodle, so she's half poodle and half Bernese Mountain Dog.
Wow, what a big dog. And how old?
She is about 1.5 years.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
And this is your mom?
Yes, Yvonne.
Yeah, hi Yvonne. And what are you holding here?
We have Labradoodles, so part labs and part poodles.
Oh, really?
Yes, right.
Beautiful dogs. And how old are they?
The brown one is 5, and no, she's 7, and the white one is 5.
Yeah, you got some beautiful dogs. And who's this young man?
I am her son.
And this is your grandma.
That's my grandma.
Okay. Hey, thanks, guys. You got some beautiful animals.
Thank you.
You bet.
So much.
Hey, a lot of dogs up here. We're trying to get everybody in as much as possible. Tell us about your dog. How old is your dog?
So this is Neri. We got her at TAP's shelter over in Pekin. She's right at a year old. Yep.
And she looks real healthy and good. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, I just got to tell you folks out there, especially if you're living by yourself and you got a place or got heart for an animal. There's a lot of animals out there, just like this dog here, who make fabulous pets, and you'll save their lives and give them many years of happiness, and they return that happiness to you too.
Absolutely.
You know, I've had dogs all my life, Labradors and Chesapeakes, and my dad had pointers and setters and what have you. We've always had working dogs, hunting dogs, but they've always been companions and lived in the house with us. They were part of the family. My little dog Nellie here, she's retrieving. She's 2 years old. She's going to be doing a little duck hunting, some dove hunting, and if I get a chance or an opportunity, I'm going to go to South Dakota and do some pheasant hunting. But she's quite a dog, loves the water, the American Water Spaniel. They were developed around 1870 in Wisconsin. It's also the Wisconsin state dog. And they are bred between a Irish water dog and extinct English Water Spaniel. And also some people say there's a little Chesapeake in them, and believe me, I think there may be, because her temperament is very similar to that of a Chesapeake. But we love her to death, and she's a working dog, but she also lives in the house and is a great pet. Good girl. Good girl. Fetch it up. Come on. Good girl. Fetch it up. Nellie. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, Nellie. Yes. Good girl. Fetch it up. Come on. Fetch it up. Get it. Fetch it up. Right here, your daddy. Come here. Fetch it up. Here. Heel up. Come here. Heel. Sit. Sit and hold. Sit. Stay. Stay. Leave it. Good girl. Ready? One more time. Stay.
Adventure Sports Outdoors is brought to you in part by Corsall Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield. Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. Eastport Marina, one of the only marinas in its class between Chicago and St. Louis, on Mariners Way in East Peoria. Goodwill of Central Illinois, free employment and veteran and youth services made possible because you donate. Lori Feld of Allstate Insurance, conveniently located in Peoria, East Peoria, and Springfield. And by Statewide Fingerprinting, specializing in concealed carry and FOID cards, 400 North 8th Street in Pekin. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.